Hey everyone, what did you think about the regional? Texas A&M getting TCU, Oral Roberts, Louisiana all coming to town. Are you happy with it? Are you okay with it? What are your thoughts? Comment below. We'd appreciate it. It is TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile. They want you to visit T-Mobile.com/across America to learn how you get more value and coverage with T-Mobile. So we talked about that. And during the Go Hour, we had to go into the A&M regional. That's what we had to do. But OB is in Destin covering Saban and Jimbo and all the nonsense going on out there. So we had to get to OB and talk about the things happening there in Destin. We also did TexAgs Idol. A little controversy in this one. People were like really passionate. It was fun. We had ourselves a winner in that one. Pat Henry joined us to talk about life after the NCAA regionals, going there towards the NCAA finals, and Andrew Monaco in studio. We did talk football. We did talk baseball. We did talk life. It's TexAgs Rewind. So with your travels yesterday, I assume you had some time to kind of break down or think about the situation A&M baseball has ahead of them, the 5 national seed. Just what did you think of it when it came out?
I thought, first of all, that the baseball committee did a lot better job than the basketball committee. I think that I was hearing that A&M was probably going to be a 5 seed, maybe a 6, and so A&M was definitely seeded correctly. I, like everybody else, kind of raised my eyebrows when I saw they put TCU in. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think there's, hey, what's the good storyline here? I think I was a little surprised that Texas was seeded so high, but I have to admit I don't follow them all the time, and it's my understanding that they did pretty well in the Big 12 tournament. But for the most part, I didn't see anything that made me shocked. I think the one thing that I think there was a lot of people that were speculating that Notre Dame could be a host, and that they're not hosting may be a little bit of a surprise, and I think that's a heck of a matchup with Notre Dame and Texas Tech. But for the most part, I don't have to admit I don't know a whole lot about Oral Roberts. I know that Louisiana Lafayette is usually a pretty good program, but I have to admit I haven't followed them this year. So I think that but based on history, any assumption that it's going to be A&M and TCU at some point, may be misguided, because Louisiana Lafayette historically has a good program, and seeing as though they're in this tournament again, I assume that they're a formidable team again.
OB, when you think about TCU, though, if the two end up matching up against each other, just I've read on the boards the word poetic being used, but it is like fitting, isn't it, that A&M, who has been eliminated so many times by TCU in the regional, gets TCU with an opportunity with their new coach to take on his old coach or his old team.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a great storyline. I don't think I think it's going to be weird for Coach Schlossnagle, but up until the time the game starts, when the game starts, it doesn't matter. But there's going to be a lot of guys on TCU that he coached and developed, and he brought to TCU and probably has a good relationship with. And I would just bet that he would have probably preferred not to play TCU if he had a choice, just because of those relationships. But, it's one of those things, again, once the game starts, who cares? But yeah, the storylines are going to be magnificent, especially if they are playing for it. And hopefully, if they do, Schlossnagle, his team will keep winning.
Welcome to TexAgs Idol, James. How you doing, man? Good morning to you.
Nuno, good morning. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm well, man. Thanks so much for obviously being an active participator on the show and on the board. So thank you very much. So we'll start things off with what I asked the guys on Thursdays. What is on your mind?
Well, I mean, it's such an exciting time to be an Aggie, especially with the way the 3 big sports are going. I was talking to a couple Aggies yesterday, and we were just saying, I mean, baseball, football, and basketball, all 3 sports are undeniably trending up and climbing fast. I mean, it's just a fun time to be an Aggie. I mean, I don't know with all these guys coming on campus. We got a couple of football guys, all the recruits finishing out that 22 class showing up over the weekend. The way baseball's going, I mean, it's fun, right? I mean, we're having a blast right now. It's just great. We're in the golden era, and it's only going to get better.
All right. So I'm going to do something different today. I don't know why. I just feel like experimenting, James, and I apologize that you're the guinea pig on this one. I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to go to Sutton, who I'm going to ask him the same question. We're going to go back and forth today to see how that flows, all right? So just hold up. We go to the BCSI hotline. Sutton Turner, who's obviously a part of Section 12, big participator also on TexAgs. Sutton, good morning to you, sir.
Howdy, David. How are you this morning?
I'm good, man. So I'm going to ask you a couple of the same questions. So what's on your mind this AM?
Well, with OB and Destin and Jimbo about to face St. Nick Saban, I got a little Nuno rant for you that I don't think has been discussed. Jimbo called St. Nick Saban a narcissist. It's a clinical case. I'm not a psychologist, but Jimbo, like me, has famously worked for a narcissist. You know, there's 9 clinical signs of a narcissist, David. And, you know, when Saban made that baseless claim, most people don't read it. They say, but he said, you know, we were second, we being Bama. We were second in recruiting last year, and A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team and made a deal for name, image, and likeness. We didn't buy, being Alabama, one player. So that means all of our players got NIL deals and none of Bama's did. Then Jimbo responds, quote, "It's despicable that a reputable head coach would come out and say this when things don't go his way. When things don't go his way." And then he says, "The narcissist in him doesn't let this happen." See, one sign of a narcissist, and there's 9, is when narcissists aren't successful, they blame other people and circumstances around them for the cause of their failure. And that's what Saban's doing. He's saying, basically, they didn't win the recruiting war because he was victim of NIL. Another thing that narcissists do is they're unable to apologize. So a couple of days later, St. Nick goes on a radio show, and he, quote-unquote, apologizes. And that was the headline. Saban apologizes. But read his apology. This is Nick Saban, quote, "I really didn't mean to single anybody out. I apologize for that." So he doesn't apologize to Jimbo or to Prime by name. He says that he didn't mean or he didn't intend. See, this is exactly a narcissist. The last thing, David, I want to point out. Number 8 on signs of a narcissist. It says it's vulnerability to life transition. And this is what I believe is happening to St. Nick Saban. He sees Jimbo building in the West. He sees Kirby and what he has already built in the East. And I truly believe, David, this is going to be our last year of dealing with Nick Saban as the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Let's talk about the last few weeks. How do you feel how things have shaked out?
Yeah, we were just talking off air just now. This was a meet that we advanced 48 in the West to this region. They don't want to call it region anymore. They want to call it first round championships, where only 12 advanced out of the 48. And so 12 from the West and 12 from the East, and those 24 go to Eugene, and that's the competition we have left forward. We were talking. It's hard to explain. You go in with a performance, and of the people who advanced out of the top 12, we only had one that didn't advance who was in the top 12, and that's Deborah Aqua out of the triple jump, which was a major blow for us. Not good, not a good thing to happen. So that was the only performance really that we had that we didn't get out. Although I will say our men's 4x1 was probably number 2. We just didn't get the exchange. We didn't drop it. We just didn't get it. Mm-hmm. So our 4x1 didn't advance.
Difficult to overcome?
No.
No.
The thing about this championships, and about the national championships, is that hopefully you have a group of people that you put in this mix. They have these rankings. They rank people going into these championships, but it's still about you're giving yourself the opportunity to win this championship. This is about everybody having a great day on the same day, and it really does. You have to have a great day, and you have to have a bunch of your people have a great day to win these championships. No one's a shoe-in. Mm-hmm. People think track is you either run fast or you don't run fast. Well, that's not true. You have to be prepared on that day, and there's lots of factors that play into that.
A lot of our audience, as you know, is a football audience.
Yeah.
And a couple football guys had some pretty nice weekends. Let's start off with Bryce Foster, ranked number 18th, finished 4th, and recorded nearly a 2.5-foot personal best.
Yeah.
You've been telling us, as long as he stays with the process, he's going to get there.
Yeah, and I think that's good for football people to see, too, is that it is a process. Jimbo is a process for his people to get better. It's a process, but you can see it in track because it's measurable. It's measurable by a tape measure. In football, sometimes I don't know how they measure if that guard or that center is getting better all the time. They have tools, but ours is really a defined tool, and you can see Bryce is getting better each week, and it's not all physical. It's mental, and it's positions, and it's rhythm. And he's starting to do it. He had some puts in practice last week that I just happened to walk over to the shot put on one day and was significantly better than that put that he had in the meet. So practice is practice. Practice doesn't count. Mm-hmm. Practice gets you to start feeling good about yourself or bad about yourself. He's feeling good about himself right now, and that's a big part of this whole thing.
Yeah, let's get into some of the stuff about this regional right here. I've seen the word how fitting and poetic. The bottom line is we knew a good Big 12 team was probably coming here.
Correct.
And it happens to be Schloss's old team that won the Big 12, by the way.
Yeah.
A team that he knows real well, but there's obviously some deep ties between these two programs in baseball.
Yeah, you knew they were going to be clever, right? There was going to be something there. But that's just the region that we're in. You were going to get, whether it was going to be someone else in Texas or Louisiana, something like that. Normally, there's a team that comes from the Northeast coming in, and that's kind of a little bit different for this regional this year. But no, you knew they were going to be clever with doing something like that, and it just adds to the storylines. I look at, there's an awful lot of wins in this regional. There's a lot of successful teams. But if anybody thinks a regional is supposed to be a cakewalk, yeah, that's not what happens with the 64 best teams in baseball. I think it's fun. It's an interesting storyline for me, but we've got the guy now. We're the team that has Jim Schlossnagle, but I think it certainly adds to intrigue and makes it a fun storyline.
I paraphrased his bite earlier, but you know the journey that they've had to go through this year to get that 5 seed, to be number 5 overall, and to go through losing starting pitching, losing Trevor Warner for over a month.
The entire left side of your infield.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and to lose series, you're like, is this team going to have enough offense to now, offense? Have you seen what they do? Like, they're going to score 10 on you. That's what they do.
Yeah, this is going to sound really simple, but I really think this is part of the mantra for this team. Yes, you had Warner go down. Yes, you lost Kalai. Yes, you lost Christian Curtis in pitching. But it became an opportunity for somebody else.
Right.
It became an opportunity for Austin Bose to step up and say, I will play second base for you. It's an opportunity for Ryan Targach, who's all SEC, to play third and second for you. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that gets me, the opportunity of, okay, this is what I'm going to do when it's my turn to pitch. And I think there's also an opportunity think about the staff. What role? Like, that was new for this entire staff. Now you have more of an identity of where you can pitch certain people in a game or in a series, so to speak. And to me, that word opportunity keeps coming up time and again, whether it was go from recent to the past to Will Johnston on the back end, who 3 weeks ago had no saves as an Aggie. Now he has 4.
Right.
So on that back end, to have Moo Menifee in a series-deciding game in Vanderbilt, to have Wyatt Tucker, to have Robert Hogan, to have Brad Rudis, at some point save a pitching staff that if they win on Friday, lose on Saturday, you don't blow up your staff on Saturday, that you can't win that third game and win the series. I think because of those moments, and there's times, hey, look, we're just going to outslug you. Because this is an offense that will wear pitching down. Think about what turned that Alabama game. That was the 100th pitch that Grayson hit through for Alabama. He threw that pitch. Dylan Rock hits the 3-run home run. That's the last pitch he throws, and that starts the 10 unanswered runs. Mm-hmm. That may not happen in the first inning. It may not happen in your second at bat. But they don't give at bats away, and they allow their teammates to see those pitches. And then it's, hey, you were called on. It could be situational out of the bullpen. Get this guy and then hand it to the next guy. I just think to me, it's been a joy. We've talked about this before. I love to see teams come together, and I love to see what they are now, end of May, beginning of June, from where they were in February. That's the neat thing about being around a team.
All right, friends, comment below on what you thought about the show. Did you like it? Tell me you liked it. If you hated it, tell me you hated it. If you like another school and you're watching this troll away. Comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. We appreciate you all for watching.